I never planned on becoming the power guy on my street. I wasn't trying to be a hero, a neighborhood savior, or some off-grid prepper who looked down on everyone. I just liked being prepared. Living in a hurricane-prone part of the country will do that to you? After the blackout of 3 years ago, when the whole block went dark for nearly a week, I invested in a pair of industrial-grade generators, the kind powerful enough to run my entire home workshop, and security system without breaking a sweat. Quiet, efficient, expensive, a luxury the HOA hated. Of course, because apparently, being prepared is visually disruptive and creates unnecessary imbalance within the community aesthetic. Not mine. When the blackout of this year hit, it wasn't gentle. It was 104 degrees outside, no clouds, no breeze. And the outage struck at 3:27 p.m. right when everyone was home. And every air conditioning unit in the neighborhood was struggling. Within minutes, the whole block went silent. Except my house. My lights clicked on. My AC hummed. The fridge restarted. My security cameras rebooted. And just like that, the glow of my porch light lit up the dark like a beacon. That beacon attracted everyone. Within 10 minutes, half the neighborhood was outside, sweating and panicking. People were checking phones, trying to get signal, opening windows, fanning kids with magazines. I stepped outside to check on the generators when my neighbor Paul waved me down. "Man, you got power?" he asked, practically melting. I nodded. "Got a generator system?" he sighed with relief. "Could we maybe plug in a charger at least? My wife's medical equipment?" I didn't hesitate. "Yeah, of course. Bring what you need." Within minutes, I had extension cords running from my workshop to 3 different homes. Extra cooling fans. A portable refrigerator someone wanted to keep a medication box in. A couple phone chargers. No problem. Helping neighbors never bothered me until she showed up, Karen. My personal HOA nightmare in pastel sweaters. She marched down the street like a heat-stroked general, fanning herself dramatically as if the sun offended her personally. "What is going on here?" she demanded, staring at my bright house like it had insulted her. "Why does your property have power, when every other home on this block is without?" Before I could answer, Paul, God bless him, jumped in. "He has generators, Karen. He's helping everyone." Karen's eyes went cold. "Everyone?" she repeated. Then she looked left and right and realized something. Everyone was getting help except her. Why? Because she hadn't asked. And because she hadn't earned it. Over the past year, this woman had fined me for excessively per safety yard features, my security cameras, lack of community visual unity, my workshop door color, and unauthorized backyard structures, my tool shed. She had even once complained that my air smelled like gasoline simply because I was mowing my lawn. She was not someone I wanted plugging anything into my property. Why wasn't I informed? She snapped. "Because," I said calmly, "I'm not obligated to inform you of my personal power backup plans." Her eyes narrowed. "I demand equal access. The HOA clearly states all neighborhood resources must be shared fairly." I raised an eyebrow. "This isn't a community resource. I bought it. I maintain it. I fuel it." That was the moment she snapped. "This is discrimination," she shouted, pointing dramatically like she was unveiling a crime scene. "You're supplying electricity to everyone except me? You can't deny me essential resources during a county emergency." "Oh, here we go, Karen," I said patiently. "You're welcome to get help after you stop abusing your position with the HOA to harass me. I'm not powering your giant freezer filled with God knows what until you treat me like a human being." She gasped so loudly you'd think I slapped her. "Are you threatening me?" "No," I said. "I'm setting boundaries." And just like that, Karen spun around and stormed off, clutching her phone like a lifeline. 5 minutes later, she came back with backup 3 HOA board members in matching polos, clipboards in hand, ready for war. One of them, Barry, adjusted his glasses dramatically. "We've had a report," he announced, "that you're operating an illegal power distribution center." I laughed. Out loud, "A what?" "An illegal power distribution center," he repeated. "Using unapproved equipment, creating noise disturbances, and distributing electricity unequally among residents. I stared at them. Guys, it's just 2 generators. They're loud, Barry insisted. Illegal? No. Unauthorized. Yes. HOA guidelines clearly state. I cut him off. Generators are allowed during power outages. Barry blinked. He didn't like being challenged. Well, yes. But the allocation of electrical resources must be fair. Fair. I repeated. These generators are mine. I bought them. I maintain them. I fuel them. This isn't a potluck, Barry. I'm not handing out cupcakes. Or Karen barged forward again. You're discriminating. You gave power to everyone, except me. She pointed to my extension cords like they were evidence of war crimes. You are targeting me? I shrugged. Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't really matter. There is no rule saying I have to give you free electricity. Her face turned the color of sunburnt tomatoes. She started screaming into her phone. Loud, dramatic, overly enunciated. YES. Hello? I need the police. I'm being denied power unfairly. Barry and the HOA member stepped aside awkwardly. Even they weren't ready to back her on this one. Within minutes, 2 squad cars pulled up. Officer Daniels stepped out, already sweating. He'd been to Karen's house before. Many times. Too many. He sighed when he saw me. What's going on? He asked wearily. Karen sprinted over. Officer, he is hoarding electricity. He gave power to the whole block, except me. This is abuse, discrimination, and a violation of community fairness. Daniels turned to me slowly. You have a generator? 2, I corrected. He's helping us, Paul added, stepping up. We asked him for help. Karen didn't. Karen screeched. I shouldn't have to ask. I'm on the HOA board. Daniels held up a hand. Ma'am, having a generator doesn't make someone a public utility. I bit back a laugh. So he can legally refuse me power? She asked, horrified. Yes, Daniels said. It's his equipment, his fuel, his house, but that's not fair. She shouted. Daniels shrugged. Life isn't fair, for the first time in years. Karen was speechless, but she wasn't done, not even close. The next morning, still in the middle of the blackout, I received an official email from the HOA, notice of violation. You are hereby notified that operating high-powered generators in a selective and exclusionary manner constitutes community discrimination and misuse of private utilities for personal gain. Further, your refusal to distribute power equitably violates the spirit of the HOA Charter. You have 24 hours to cease all generator use, or face legal action. Legal action? Over my own generators? I responded, feel free to sue me. The county emergency ordinance overrides HOA guidelines. Also, refusing to fuel Karen's deep freezer of expired casserole dishes isn't discrimination. Good luck minutes later. Karen knocked on my door. Hard I opened it to find her holding a stack of papers like she was delivering a court summons. We're pursuing damages, she said triumphantly. The HOA board voted unanimously. I sighed. Karen, you can't win. The HOA always wins, she hissed. Not this time, why not? She smirked. Because you're not above the HOA rules. I smiled, slow and calm. Actually, Karen, I am. She frowned. Excuse me? I work for the County Emergency Management Office. I wrote part of the generator use policy. Her jaw dropped open. And during an emergency, I continued, I outrank the HOA. She blinked. You, what? Karen, I said gently. You tried to sue the person who helps write the rules you're violating. She stared at me like she'd swallowed a lemon whole, and by filing that complaint, I continued. You also admitted to knowingly interfering with disaster response. Officers Daniels and Ruiz, who had arrived for a welfare check on elderly neighbors, overheard me and stepped forward. Daniels crossed his arms. Karen, do you know how serious that is? She sputtered. I was just he, was you. Can't Ruiz shook his head. Ma'am, sit down before you pass out. By the end of the day, Karen quietly withdrew her complaint. The blackout lasted 2 more days. I powered the whole block except Karen's house. She didn't ask again, and after seeing every neighbor thanking me, bringing food, offering help, and checking in daily, she realized something. Respect earns generosity. Entitlement earns darkness. When the power finally returned, the HOA held an emergency meeting. Karen wanted new generator rules passed, something ridiculous like all backup utilities must be shared equally among residents. The board laughed her out of the room. Even Barry, especially Barry. A week later, a neighbor asked me quietly, "Are you going to help her next time?" I smiled. "I'll help anyone, even her." I shrugged. "If she asks politely?" The neighbor laughed. "So basically, she'll never get power." "Exactly," I said. "Because sometimes the only way to teach an HOA Karen anything is to let her sit in the dark until she finally understands the light."